There's something about being on a motorcycle that just makes you feel free. Maybe it's the fact that you aren't enclosed in a metal and plastic box on wheels. Or maybe it's the ability to easily cruise at high speeds. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the fact that you're playing a game of Russian roulette with your life, where one simple mistake could be the difference between life and death. Okay, it's probably not that last one, but still, there's something pretty free about being on a motorcycle. Ride 3 is Milestone's latest attempt at bringing that feeling of being free onto the road in the video game realm. Featuring over 270 officially licensed motorcycles, spanning over 7 different classifications, Ride 3 makes sure that players can never say there isn't enough variety in bike selection. Every bike can be customized in terms of both cosmetic and performance, and the detail on each model is on par with any other racing sim on the market. In fact, there are up to 1,000 different layers at your disposal when creating your custom look for your bikes. The game also features 30 different tracks to race on, with 12 of them being brand new to the series. Now each track, unsurprisingly, looks very true to life, with stunning textures and great attention to the details of each environment. From racing through Japan to hitting the popular Daytona International Speedway, it's not hard to get lost in the details while trying to race. So just don't be surprised if you crash a few extra times. One thing that also needs to be mentioned is how incredible night racing is. There's just something about racing under the lights that make races feel like a bigger event. On the course, the game can be a bit tough for people to grasp. If you've never played a motorcycle racing sim before, then you may find yourself struggling to make the proper turns or even hit the brakes at the correct time. With no tutorials of any sort, you're kind of left to figure things out on your own on the track. That said, once you start getting a feel for the core mechanics of the game, racing becomes a much more enjoyable and rewarding experience. From making a perfect turn to finally getting past an opposing racer that always seemed to be just ahead of you, there's no better feeling in Ride 3 than achieving any goals you have for yourself. The game's physics engine gives the feeling of handling a real motorcycle, which, as anyone who's ever actually ridden a real one can tell you, can be a daunting task. There's always a risk of overturning or just jerking the bike a little too much on an overcorrection that'll lead to dumping it to the asphalt below. Ride 3's career mode is what'll take up most of your time spent with this game. Broken up into different volumes of a racing magazine, players go through each volume with a different task or focus. Unfortunately, the mode does begin to get repetitive after a while due to its straightforward nature. There aren't any cutscenes, rivalries, commentators, or any sort of off-track appeal to the mode. It's just race, buy a new bike, repeat. If you aren't a fan of collecting and upgrading motorcycles, you're going to feel like you're simply grinding in order to say you've completed the mode. Ride 3 does offer online multiplayer, but it's a bit too straightforward as well with just private and public races. The public races are just quick matchmaking races, rather than just searching through a list of lobbies to find the one you want to join. With the limited multiplayer options, it just hammers home the point that it'd be nice to see racing sims like this find a way to implement an online racing series or league for players. There's also time trials and drag racing to give you something else to do, but if you don't find yourself spending the majority of the time in career mode, then you may not be playing this game too long. The photo mode is also pretty cool to try and get some of those awesome in-action shots that only professional photographers can get, but to be real, how many times will someone actually utilize the option? Ride 3 isn't the easiest game to pick up for newcomers to the series, but the feeling of accomplishment as you improve your skill on the road isn't something to be overlooked. And with the amount of bikes to unlock and upgrade and the tracks to enjoy, Ride 3 is a game that'll impress with its overall depth. With that said, the grind that many will feel when playing the game's career mode is sure to take away from the enjoyment of the overall experience. Compound that with the lacking presentation, no local multiplayer, and longer than desired load times, and Ride 3 is going to be remembered as a game that fans of the series will enjoy, but others will look elsewhere to get into the motorcycle racing genre. For more on Ride 3 and great sports gaming content daily, be sure to subscribe to Sports Gamers Online and hit that bell to be notified every time a new video goes live, and visit sportsgamersonline.com.